Welcome back to Tim and Toll Reads, where I am doing a book tag. I was tagged by the lovely Pat at Book Chat with Pat. She was tagged by Debs at Rainer Reads Stuff and by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. This is the Beefcake Challenge book tag, and so I will link a description to their channels in Pat's video below. You should definitely check that out. There are 5 questions, the 6th being tagging others, and let's jump right into this. So, what are the 10 biggest books on your TBR next year, and show off those sweet titles? And so, let's jump right in. Ken Follett, A World Without End. This is book number 2 in his Kingsbridge series. It is 1,025 pages long. I look forward to reading this. I read this years ago, and I want to reread it. A bunch of us are doing a buddy read of Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. This is 945 pages. We're going to be buddy reading this in January, so I'm trying to get through the last couple books, so I'm prepared for that. I've also talked about reading this for several months, but that is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I have 3 of his books on here because they're chunkers. Mistborn, book 1 is 643 pages. The Well of Ascension, that is book number 2, is 785 pages. And then The Hero of Ages, book number 3 in this trilogy, is 752 pages. So, yeah. I read probably a third of this book many months ago. I think it was 2022. And I just put it down. But he has been an author. When I was on watching other channels before, I had my own book too. You know, Bridger at the Library Ladder talks about Guy Gabriel Kay a lot. He is a fantastic poetic writer. His prose is very good. It reminds me a lot of Robin Hobb. But I got about a third of the way through Tagana. It's a standalone fantasy book by him, and I've been wanting to get back to it. And so I'm going to read that this year. This is 673 pages. Another fantasy book that I've had on my shelf that's kind of been like staring at me like, why haven't you picked me up? And that is The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This comes in at 647 pages in this trade paperback form, so it is a chunk of a book. Rowdy Player One and I had talked about reading this standalone epic fantasy book, The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong, and this is an epic fantasy. It comes in at 611 pages. It is my second lowest page count on this list, but it is a massive book. You knew this was going to be on here. Speaking Bones, book number 4, The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. It is the last entry in the Dandelion Dynasty, and it is the biggest book. It is 1,047 pages long. I'm going to start this in January, along with Lonesome Dove, because I like suffering, I guess. But anyways, I definitely am not going to get this done in 1 month. It's just not going to happen. Probably the same with The World Without End. It's just too big, and I have so many other books that I want to get to, and I'm going to do a video on that. So these 10 books will be in that video as well, but we'll get to that. And then lastly, I did pick up this nonfiction book, Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. This was a recommendation, kind of a nonfiction starter pack that I got from Steve Donahue's channel, and this was one of the books on there, and I've always been interested in Da Vinci. This beautiful book is 525 pages, my littlest book, but this is the heaviest book because of the paper. It's very high quality. But this thing is a chunk. I mean, it weighs so much. Which is a good segue into question number 2. How thick are your books? Measure them. And so I stacked my books on top of each other flat and measured them. And they measured 15.5 inches tall. But I also weighed them. And they weighed 14 pounds exactly. 10 books. So yeah. Question number 3, do you think you can read them all, flex your reading ability? Yes, it will take all year. I will probably, again, read one a month, roughly, and it will take me all year. Yeah, for sure. And as I sprinkle in other buddy reads and other books and series I want to read. So, question number 4, how many pages are there? So I did tally all the page counts. The total page count is 7,653 pages in these 10 books, so it averages about 765 pages a book. So definitely stout. Definitely stout. Question number 5, do you even lift, bro? Lift your stack, and that is, you see this 14 pounds of books. But here we go. Without spilling them all, there they are. 15 and a half inches tall, 14 pounds. Definitely a heavy stack of books. And then question number 6, try not to spill these. Tag some people, share the gains. So I tag anyone who's watching this that wants to participate. I think this is really good. It's definitely a nice little segue into talking about what you're planning on reading in 2025. I'll definitely add these to some other series that I have priority on my list. But that is another video, and we'll get to that soon. But I want to tag the following people: Book Buds, Novel Insights, Vin at Vin's Corner, Maeve Ever Books, Elaine at Cobalt Dragon, Christina at Christina Winikoff, Paper Pages Possibilities, Adventures in Literature, is Brian, Charles at CJ Rated Books, Albert at Albert the Conjugator, Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook, Rowdy at Rowdy Player One, Trav at Trav's Bookshelf, DG at Colonel Mustard in the Library, Chris at the Bearded Book Beast, Triumphal Reads, Bob Can Read, and Storm Reads. You've all been tagged in the Beefcake Challenge book tag. I hope you participate. This is a fun one. Definitely, I want to thank again Pat at Book Chat with Pat. She is one of my great friends, and she tagged me in this, and I cannot thank you enough. This was a lot of fun. I will leave a link again to her video below, and I want to thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will talk to you later. Thanks.